War. War never changes.
Okay folks, that just took 1 minute and 29 seconds to load. That opening load. That's pretty ridiculous. This is Fallout. This is Bunker Hill. It's been a while. So I haven't played this game for a week. Feels really strange coming back to it. But alas, here we are. Bloodborne came, derailed everything with its DLC, and we're back in this. So I want to get like a crash course in Fallout. And to do that, it's going to involve essentially doing some main missions to get myself back reintegrated into the game, and then we'll continue as normal. I'm going to apologise in advance, guys. I've got this really awful tickly cough, so if you hear me making any funny noises or any of it gets through the edit, I apologise in advance, but sometimes it does slip through the cracks. I'm hoping though that the spikes are high enough in the waveform that I can find them and get rid of them, because there's nothing worse. And you might wonder, well Chris, why don't you just mute your microphone? Well, because my setup is not ideal at the moment for this kind of recording. My microphone's next to my TV, which is 2 yards in front of me, on like the mantle of a drawer set. So to actually mute it for when these things turn up, I would have to lean off my bed, move forward, then reach behind it and flick the switch, because of course I'm not using a headphone microphone. That's a bad person. So it's not as easy as just flicking a switch as it would be like if I was using my Astro mic, which ironically the pair of Astros I have doesn't have a functioning mic at the moment. I need to replace it. But I don't use it, so I completely forget to do it. But this is Fallout. We're going to be going over to this clover because it looks like I haven't discovered it, and I really should, because I like discovering things. And then we're going to do the molecular main mission that we were on, that we never got around to doing. That is one hell of a cross. But that's the thing that we're going to discover, so let us put on our gear so that we can cross this water, and let's go from there. Hazmat suit. I'm going to be a little rusty on this stuff, guys. It's amazing how deep I was in Fallout. I was living, breathing, sleeping, eating Fallout 4. Then as soon as that DLC dropped, it just... all I want to play now is Bloodborne. It's horrible. Like, we've had an entire summer of nothing worth playing, and then everything comes out at the same time. It's really baffling why the devs choose to do this, where they have these incredibly competitive months and then just nothing for far too long, when they could spread them out and maybe stand a chance against some of the bigger hitters. It baffles my mind why they choose to do it, but I have no idea about the inner workings of game marketing. Maybe this is the best way of handling it, and if so, I just don't think it is. Let's get some crits back on this guy if we can. No. Yes. No. No. Come on. Give him some luck. He's dead anyway. Okay, folks, so there's more. We've got Cogsworth with us at the moment. He's not the best buddy, but he's okay. So far, the buddies have kind of just been portable storage and script deniers, script blockers, which is frustrating. I don't know why they can block important NPCs' pathing or why they can interact with important switches. It seems really bizarre to me, but that's the game we're playing. So let's get to this mission, shall we, guys? The molecular level. Have the cores chipped analyzed. So let's analyze the chip. Where do we do this? We do it at the railroad. That's a couple of miscellaneous tasks over there. Bring a bloatfly thing. Give a Nuka-Cola to that guy. Railroad. So apparently the Corsa chip is the key to infiltrating the Institute, but it has to be, like, defragged or something.
Wants to talk. She's in back.
Who's that? Oh, 18 meters this way.
Calculating. Institute
It's Desdemona.
increases odds of detection of all northern routes by 52%.
Alright, Pam.
52%. That's prohibitively dangerous.
Fixer, how do you feel about getting thrown back into the fire?
That's what I do.
First name basis was fire.
You're in the right line of work then. We've hit a snag with Dr. Amari. You haven't met her. She works in Good Neighbor, and she plays a vital role in our organization.
I have
Synths
met
are
her.
supposed to go to the memory den. The doctor gives them a new set of memories, then they move out. But her latest patient is stuck there. The runner's route has been compromised, and we're looking for options.
Well, tell me about the options.
We're trying to come up with another route that leads to the proper destination. Maybe... Pam, what if we reroute through Lexington?
The switchboard is a nexus of Institute activity. Odds of detection increase exponentially with proximity to the nexus.
In English, Pam.
She means we can't run ops anywhere remotely near Switchboard. The Gen 1s blocking the original route have to go.
Yeah?
I think the doctor's right.
You see? Even he agrees with me.
Enough. We do
That's
it
not
your way.
condescending at
Go to
all.
Dr. Amari and tell her rerouting isn't possible. You're there to clear the route for one last run. There's a lot at stake here, so get the job done.
I'm very...
Mayor and my ass, blah blah blah.
My medical expertise. Please bother someone else.
Oh, those pictures look so good, dude. I'm really happy with the way that they art. Oh, you can fast travel out of here as well. I figured that out the other day. So, it said Lexington, didn't it? What does the quest say? Oh, here we go. So that says we need to do that, but first we need to do that. So we need to go to Good Neighbor, which is just in this big mess here. So look, fast travel out of the railway. Normally, it'd be like, oh, you can't fast travel from here because we're inside. But this seems to have an exception because it is so stupid to get out of. I wonder how crazy the power armor customizing will get on PC when people really figure out how to do weird shit with the engine. Because I thought it was going to be so much more detailed than it is, and it's already pretty detailed, all considered. And so that I don't feel like such a fat bastard while I play this game for large periods of times, I'm going to be doing sit-ups during the load screens. Of course, it's not going to affect the playthrough in any way. It just lets me feel less guilty when I do massive stints of this amazing game.
You're back. The glowing sea. Virgil. What happened?
Oh yeah, I forgot you were interested in that.
I found Virgil. He has a way inside the Institute. But I need a code from the Courser chip.
A Courser chip? You fought a Courser? Oh my god. Unfortunately, I can't help you. I've worked on a lot of synths, but never a Courser. I don't know what that chip does, let alone how to decode it. But there are people who might. I work with a group that, well, they're the only ones I know that even have a chance at cracking Institute security. They're called the Railroad.
I knew she was gonna say that.
Thanks, Doc. I know the way.
You do? Oh, then good luck. I hope they can help you.
Yeah, but they sent me to you.
Hi.
What's
You're
going on
the
there?
contact H222 is talking about? Just when I thought one person could only experience
Come on.
so much danger in their life. The patient is resting right now. Were you hoping to say goodbye? I don't advise it. He's far past remembering anything about his old life.
He doesn't remember anything?
I'm very thorough. His new life started in a small homestead near Roxbury. That's all he knows now. While you can talk to him, no amount of coaxing can reverse the process. He won't remember you, and he never will.
Mm.
I'm not here to talk, Doctor. I'm here to get the job done.
Then what's the plan for getting H2 out of here?
Kill him. Kill them all.
The plan? Kill everything in my way. That's the plan.
Glad you thought this through. But I don't suppose we have many other options. Malden Metro Center. That's where your problem is. I'm leaving H222 and his future in your hands. Once he's gone, we never had this conversation. He was never here. Before you leave, take the holotape on the table. It's a personal message for your ears only.
I often lay awake at night masturbating over your memories. I loved your wife and daughter just as much as you
The
did.
doctor said I could say goodbye.
Oh,
I've decided to have the operation. I know I'll lose all my memories. I don't want you to be sad. I have nightmares. And this world, the SRB, being hunted, I just can't handle it. Everyone says I'll be safer if I start a new life. I know I'll be happier. My only regret is I'll forget Old Man Stockton, High Rise, and you. Looking back, there's only fear, worse than fear. But I will miss my new friends.
It's time, H2.
oh wow, I've got 2 levels.
Thanks.
Might as well do them. Shit. Well, we're going to do bloody 8. Bloody 8? Jesus hell. Bloody mess when we got to this point? We were, so... That's bloody mess. And that is... That is it then. Nice. So what can we do now? We can go for more sneak, but I don't think we need that too much. Although it is going to be really useful. I don't care about that, because that seems silly. That seems definitely up my alley, and I really want the more action points. But let's just double check to make sure we can't have any better. We've got maximum criticals, maximum crit banker. We can do Grim Reaper, and we can do 4-leaf clover. Interesting. So both of those are great, but they can wait. Damage is immediate, and I think that that's probably going to benefit us most. So if we put a suppressor on all his weapons, we're laughing, aren't we? We just need to make sure we get that sneak bonus. So, there we go. That is insane. Our crit just went up again, people. I'm so happy to become the destroyer of worlds, as Has said. So, let's go. Like, I wonder if it'd be better to put a shotgun on my suppressor, yeah, so that the suppressor fires shotguns. That makes perfect sense. Now, if I put a suppressor on my unique shotty, maybe it'll give it all the inherited bonus damage from the Sandman perk. That could be really useful. Oh my god! Why does it take so long? I forgot just how brutal this loading is. I was really hoping that I'd come back and there'd be like a patch and the loading would be great, but it really isn't. And I'm going to try my best not to mention it, but you know I'm gonna, because it's one of those things where I can't help it. It feels so goddamn painful. Let's turn these off so we're not getting confused with waypoints. So how are you finding the playthrough, folks? Are you enjoying it? Are you hating it? You know, are you indifferent? Do you nothing it? Judging by the comments that I've been reading, it seems like, oh look at that, 5.3 crit modifier, love it. It seems like there's a lot of people that are enjoying it. There's a couple of people who are frustrated with how I'm playing. A lot of people leaving tips and helpful things. A lot of people analysing and breaking down the hacking for me, even though I kind of fundamentally understand it. I just don't like it and thus don't really look into getting any better at it, as much as it frustrates them. There's a couple of people who think I'm rushing. You know, there's a few people that are just, you know, they'll watch anything, so they're kind of indifferent. It seems to be a nice mixed reaction of all kinds of things, but overwhelmingly positive is the thing that I'm taking from it. And hopefully we can keep it up, because this is going to be a long playthrough. It was always going to be a long playthrough when you play it like I do. I appreciate I play Fallout a very specific way that might not be the way you play it, or might not be the way that other people play, but that's the joy of it. And hopefully we can make something really cool, really fun, and who knows? It could blow up. It might fade into obscurity. I guess we'll see, guys. I'm having a lot of fun, and you get to share that. If that sounds like a good thing, then we're making sweet music together. If not, I'm sure there's something else you'll enjoy, and the frame rate is incredibly choppy, and I forgot. Get out of the car. I forget just how much this game can barely run. That said, though, I still really adore it. I truly do. And it makes me feel better knowing that even on PC at the moment, the modders haven't quite figured out how to make this game not run like a piece of shit, so everybody's suffering together. And it's that choice, isn't it? Do you make a massive, expansive, wide scope of just craziness that performs like utter shit, or do you nail the performance and have the scope and the size of it really reduced? Because if you think about it, it's the difference between a developer like Platinum and a developer like Bethesda. Both of them make amazing games for different reasons. One of them focuses on something that... How far away is this? Am I just pissing in the wind, or should I teleport? Jesus Christ. A firework in fucking December. Jesus. What's wrong with these people? I hope you burn. I hope your entire family burns. So it's just there. We could walk, but why not walk? Let's get back into the field for Fallout. What was I saying? Difference between Platinum and Bethesda. You know, both have got really, really high calibers of design, but completely different priorities. Platinum make games that run at a consistent frame rate most of the time, where they optimize it for frame rate and for performance and for feedback and responsiveness so that the controls feel perfect for what that game is. However, the levels, some of the design aspects, you know, just the quantity of things and the scope suffers because it is so insular and it's so focused on delivering that core experience. Then you have this, which is the complete opposite. This chugs like a motherfucker. It crashes, it controls sluggishly, it's got all these problems with it because it is so very massive and epic and on a scale that nobody can really do like Bethesda does. Like, I mentioned that nearly scared me. Only, how much damage does a tail do? Does it do as much as the face? Why is the face like impossible to hit? Just shoot his body. How many shots we can get? I might as well use another crits. But they just do something that not even CD Projekt Red in their just sadomasochism, because if you think about it, CD Projekt Red is a much smaller team than Bethesda, I think. So it's crazy what these teams can achieve. And then you've got a team like Ubisoft and all their different studios that are working on essentially things that look identical, that could be swapped together or titles switched and you wouldn't even fucking notice. And they've got these credits that run on for longer than the bloody game did. And then they have these horrible last bosses and this identical cookie-cutter level design that's, you know, fun to a point, but never really shines or marvels in any specific way. It's crazy just the difference between studios in the modern state of gaming. You know, just the different ethoses and philosophies. And it's great because diversity is the spice of life. But it'd be nice to see some of these different priorities, you know, go between companies. Like, I read something the other day where it mentioned apparently Konami going forward are going to be using Platinum Games to make Metal Gear Solids, which I think is a really strange but amazing idea. And I don't know what that means. Does that mean Platinum Games are going to be trying to make a stealth game? Because if so, I think they're probably going to have a trickier time. And it I don't know. Can they do that? I don't know. Or are they just going to turn everything into their kind of action game that they make? You know how tough this guy is? Can I do his face? Okay. This guy's real tough. The good news is he's real slow. And as much as I love Platinum, stealth isn't really their bag. So I'm really happy that they're moving in a direction where they're evolving and maybe going for something that's against their comfort zone. But at the same time, it's kind of... wow. I don't know how much this guy's hurting me, but it could be a lot. There aren't normally rad scorpions here. How injured am I? I'm not too injured at all, but I'm injured enough to want to use something like that. It's weird that this guy's turned up. He's really strong, all considered. So it's just a lot of different emotions. See that? I got 2 crits off that. Because I already think that And if you don't realise this, which I assume sometimes that it's obvious, but it might not be so obvious to you. Everybody's got different levels of understanding of things. Let's use one of those. But Platinum has obviously more than one studio. It has a bunch of different creative directors. It's a lot of talented people in a pretty modest-sized office that are making Japanese games at a time where it's not very cool or popular to make Japanese games. Unless you're a very specific niche audience or you live in Japan. And I love Japanese games because that's kind of, for me, where games started. I'm sure if you look deep into it, it's probably like Japan that invented it, but I'm not meaning it like that. I mean just where a lot of the ideas came from, a lot of the great ideas that I love in games, a lot of the ideas that I think our games are getting rid of because they're moving towards this Western design philosophy, which is not bad and it's not wrong, it's just different. But a lot of people look at tropes from, you know, those old Japanese games and they look at it as a bad thing. Like look at Ninja Gaiden 3 where they removed everything that made it a Ninja Gaiden because they associated it with old school Japanese design philosophy. And I love old school Japanese design philosophy, you know? That's the games I fell in love with. But they removed all the shit that made it worth playing. And I'll never forgive them for doing that. And then they released Razor's Edge, and there's a lot of people that are like, oh, they fixed everything that was bad about 3 and they made a really great game. It's like, shut your fucking mouth right now. If you're hands down trying to tell me you think Razor's Edge is on par with Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, you are smoking the worst crack possible because it's warping your brain like toxic plasmosis and you probably got a parasite driving you like a puppeteer. Even if you love it, comparing them side by side, there's just no contest whatsoever. And that's coming from somebody who really doesn't like Razor's Edge. And I still get messages to this day like, have you tried Razor's Edge, Chris? I think you'll really love it. It's like, well, I don't think you know me as well as you think you do because I hate that game. Interesting. Where are these grenades, dude? It's really hard to tell.
We got assigned the same damn job. All our
Fuck you.
compartmentalization bullshit.
Oh, it's me and Joy. Oh wow, it shoots an additional projectile, sorry. But is you know, Razor's Edge a bad game? No, it's not. It's not a bad game at all. It's a very playable game. It's a game that I know a few people have got a guilty pleasure of enjoying it. But I prefer Ninja Gaiden 3, and I hate Ninja Gaiden 3. I think it's a terrible game. But it's a game that, after a while of playing it, began to make sense. And it made sense because there was a move for every situation. And I didn't like playing that game to do crazy combos, because that's not why I played those games. I played those games to kill, and that game enabled you to have a move that killed every specific type of enemy very quickly. And I came, in the end, to really appreciate that.
We got assigned.
Have you got dementia? It's another one with dementia. But that Japanese mentality that we're losing, Platinum is essentially keeping alive for me. And I think there are a couple of other companies that are doing the same. Like, I definitely think like Hideo Kojima was until they sacked him, which is really sad, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Nice. So I love that developer so much, and I'm really excited to see them do well and to see them continue to evolve, which is why I'm really excited for things like Nier Automata? I don't know how you say that word. I know what it is because it's the thing that was the original invention for animatronics. It's essentially the driving mechanism of a puppet. I did some research into it a couple of years back. And scale-bound, because it's Platinum doing what they do on a much larger scale, utilising things that they perhaps haven't done so well in the past or haven't even tried to do. So they're doing new things. And I love companies that dare to do new things. I think that's why I'm so fond of them. People can accuse me of being a fanboy, but if you watch any of my walkthroughs of their games, I'll point out the shortcomings of their games just as frequently as I would any other game, because I'm not going to be biased just because I like something. Some of my favourite games that exist are heavily flawed games, but I love them, and I've come to really appreciate them, which... We've had this discussion before, so I'm not going to chew your ear off, but there is a difference between liking a game and a game being bad. Objectively, completely different argument, completely different conversation. And a lot of people can't put their bias aside and appreciate something is quality. Unless we're talking about Dynasty Warriors, which I think we can all agree is not quality regardless of bias. So we've been down here before. I can't remember when we came. I think it was to get Nick. But suffice to say, it's not new. You can see me somehow. How do we do the crit now? I forget. Bit rusty on the buttons, guys. I have to say though, I really like this game. This is probably going to be my game of the year. Spoiler alert, because how can it not? I love me some Bloodborne. I really do. But this game is just... You could play this game for the rest of the year, every single day, and still have shit to do that's interesting. And you could say the same about Bloodborne, of course, but Bloodborne is a game that can be incredibly stressful and incredibly brutal, and I just don't get that from this. And it might be because I'm playing on, you know, massive bitch difficulty or whatever, but I find this game so... I'm not going to say relaxing, because I can find Bloodborne quite relaxing as well. It's not any kind of hassle at all. Like, there's never a moment where I have to sit up and be like, shit, I need to focus now, I need to, you know, man up. And I think that's what makes the commentary so natural and so fun, because I don't have to worry about my execution. I don't have to worry about my skill being affected by what I'm thinking about when I'm talking. And in a game such as Bloodborne, it's just not the same. Like, bosses kill me a million extra times because I'm too busy talking like an idiot or I'm distracted. And that's the difference. Like, if you play and you're not talking to yourself like a moron, it's way easier to focus. Whereas on a game such as this, all I have to do is VATS. I press VATS and I'm done. I'm safe for a couple of seconds and I go, this is what we're going to do, let's do this. And then when I do die, it's generally pretty funny because it's something very specific that killed me. And the only problem then is, of course, the loading. That's the one thing that bums me out with this game, and I hope they get rid of it. But the loading has always been bad in Fallout. It's always been bad in Elder Scrolls games. Bethesda makes these massive things, and it's incredibly difficult to optimize these big things. So it comes with the territory. It's as much as part of the gameplay as the drugs are, or as the caps are. It's the experience, and it is definitely negative. And even then, even with that, the game still proves to be so goddamn wonderful. And I love this game. And I wish everybody played it. I really do. I wish people who have no interest in this kind of game picked it up and gave it a try, because they might surprise themselves with enjoying it. Because I think there's something here for everybody. And for the price tag, for the value you're going to get, it's free money, dude. Alright.
Hey, grab that.
Okay, Coddy.
Get that.
It's time to grab some shit.
Bring that here.
Of course, sir.
Grab that.
My pleasure.
Get that.
All right.
Bring that here.
Nothing would please me more.
The machine gun. Get it.
Straight away, sir.
Grab that.
Presently, sir.
But so far, what would I patch in Fallout 4? What do I think needs addressing? What do I think could do with fixing? Me personally, of course the loading. The loading has to go, because the loading's terrible. But aside from that, I don't really know. Maybe I would really like them to give you the item box that you dumped all your shit in to go across all the different settlements that you access it at, because all the local leadership perk does is give you access to all your resources in all the different places that you've linked. It doesn't actually give you access to your weapons and the things that you've dumped along those lines. So on that hand, I think it's kind of stupid. And once again, this could be my own ignorance because I don't know how the game works. That's the word I wanted. But it might not be, you know? It could be just how they wanted it to work, and one of those things that might get patched, but I don't really see that happening. So this is me trying to appease some of the people that have been giving me all the hack advice. But I've mentioned this enough times that I'm hoping people are getting the idea that this just doesn't entertain me at all. I'm not really enjoying it. Never have. Didn't enjoy it in Vegas, didn't enjoy it in 3. In fact, I should really put points into science because I need to, but also to make the hacking a little bit easier so that I don't have to do too much of this. And apparently somebody was telling me that there are console commands on PC where you can just do lockpicks and hacks automatically, which sounds fucking wonderful to me. That is definitely my kind of thing. So, let's look at these words, shall we? We've got a couple of them ending in S. Interesting. So it doesn't end in S, which is good to know. There we go. Let's just shut them down, just in case. I think they're already dead. I think this is from when we first came through here.